G'day guys, welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to the first episode of my Pertam survival series. Okay, so in today's episode we're going to be starting off on the new planet that they dropped in the last update, and that is the planet Pertam. So I'll just quickly go through some of the mods and some of the settings that I'm using in this world. Alright guys, so as you can see, I have my character's inventory size set to 5 times. Blocks inventory size set to realistic. All of these other settings here are set to the default, but basically, you know, they're set to ×3, ×3, ×2, ×2. Environment hostility, which is your asteroids, I've got that turned off. The sound mode, I've changed that to realistic. World size, I've changed to unlimited. View distance 15Ks, that's more of like a graphics setting, I would say. Yep, respawn cooldowns, that's all standard. I've enabled sun rotation, but I have increased the duration of a day from 2 hours to 3 hours. I just find that's a pretty good medium for me. Obviously I've disabled the block limits. Yeah, all the rest of the stuff is pretty self-explanatory. And I have enabled cargo ships. I have also enabled drones, and somewhere in here I have also enabled in-game scripts, all that sort of stuff. We have our jetpack enabled, and yeah, one thing I've disabled as well is this enable auto respawn. So basically what this setting does is it lets you choose where you want to respawn. So you won't just respawn at the nearest medbay or the last medbay that you were using. And yeah, here's our enabled drone settings. So this enabled drones setting, this is quite useful for when we're doing things like setting up mods that use like the modular encounter spawner and that sort of thing. So press OK on that, and then I'll just quickly go through a list of the mods that we're using. So if we have a look at the mods, obviously we have our modular encounter spawner, we have our air traffic, which is basically the cargo ships that fly in the planetary atmosphere. I have these two mods that change the kind of visual appearance of the game. So Space Just Got Real is kind of like, it makes the game, the nights a lot darker and a lot more challenging. We have the Eyes Just Got Clear mod, which kind of takes away the harshness of the light in the game as well. So there is that one. And then obviously I've got my sneaky sounds quieter tools. Thank you very much Splitsy for this one. So this is going to help us keep the tools down to a minimum, so they're not, you know, trying to fight me for trying to listen to me speak while I'm trying to use my tools. And then yeah, obviously I've got my easy NPC takeovers. So this is just the basic mods that I'm starting out with at the moment. I haven't really enabled any of these other ones. I don't really use them too much. I've only just used them, you know, maybe once or twice. But later on I probably will use something like a NPC mod, another one to kind of get some enemies coming after us, just to, you know, make it a little bit more exciting. Alright, with all that being said and done, let's get into the game. Alright, so now we're back in the game, and one thing I forgot to mention just before was the fact that I've also enabled weather in this game, so yeah, we're going to have to deal with that. Okay, so one of the first things I like to do when I start off in these games is get myself some ice. So if we just have a look in our survival kit here, and we go into the inventory, we can see that the O2H2 generator has some ice already in it. So I'm just going to move. No, I can't move them because it's small conveyors. So I'm going to move these into my personal inventory. And one of the first things I like to do is basically get myself some ice. So this being Pertam, or the Wasteland planet, I guess, the only place we can find ice on this particular planet will be in that area there. So just enable my jetpack here a little bit. So if we just go up into the air, you can see that, you know, it's pretty much like a wasteland, obviously. And we have like this little oasis here. And in the middle of this oasis is where we're going to find our ice. Cool. So as you can see, just there's our ice. Now, the other thing I wanted to do in this save was I've actually looked around on this planet in creative mode before, and I've kind of picked out a site where I want to put my base. But to give us a little bit of a challenge, I've just, kind of dropped down onto the planet, wherever the game will spawn me, and then I'm going to make it kind of a trip to get over to the site where I want to create my base. And that is it right there, and it is 33 kilometers away roughly. Alright, so one other thing I wanted to show you guys was just where you can find ores on this particular planet as well. So you see this area here where we have this like patch of white. So it's very similar to Mars. So if we go up there, you can see we have iron, and then if we move over to this one, we can see that we have some silicon. But I'm not really going to mine too much of this stuff just yet. I'm just going to get a little bit of ice, and then I'm going to build some thrusters on the respawn pod, and then from there I'm going to fly to the base location, and then from there I'm going to start building up my base. Alright, so let's go ahead and mine some ice. I'll tell you what, that mod makes a huge difference to the sound of the drills and the tools, because before it was just deafening. How much ice do I have? 412, that's not really that much. So what I'm doing when I'm doing this is I'm basically just holding down the F key so that I can pick up the ice as we go. 2.54k, that should be heaps. And while we're here, I'll just mine some stone. Let's go and pick all that up. Should do for now. Let's get ourselves out of this hole. Cruise back to the respawn pod, and then we'll chuck all this in here. So the reason why I like to grab ice first is so that we don't kind of run out of ice, and I can keep refilling my my bottle. So let's place that in there. Alright, and then I'm just going to go into here. I'm going to put my stone in there. I'm going to go to production, and I'm just going to select, I'm going to build a couple of hundred of these. Obviously we'll run out of materials before it will actually build that much, but I don't want to have to keep queuing them up. Okay, so my ultimate goal here is to build some thrusters in all four directions, but I don't think I'm going to be able to do that, simply because if we have a look at the materials that are required for each thruster, the metal grids, that shouldn't be a problem for us, because if I grind down the hydrogen thruster on the bottom of this pod, that will give me 4 metal grids, and I should be able to build the thrusters from that. But the only problem I have from there is that I don't really have the components to build the large steel tube yet, so and I can only really get 2 of those from the hydrogen thruster. So yeah, there is that. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to grind down one of these thrusters, and also the other thing I need is I need a gyroscope. So I'm going to need, and the gyroscope needs a large steel tube as well. So I'm going to have to grind down one of these thrusters. I'm going to have to rock just 3 thrusters, and I'm probably going to have to put a thruster that way and a thruster that way just to get us to that location, and then just kind of steer with what we have available and just use the gyroscopes to steer the ship. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. So let's just grind these things away. Yeah, I'll get rid of that. Get rid of that. And what I'm going to have to do as well is put like a cockpit here. So let's go ahead and get rid of these things. Alright, so before I grind this seat down, I'm going to grab all the stuff that's in there. And you see this GPS? This is basically the GPS coordinates to the nearest station. So if we have a look at that, yeah, we can actually plug this, or we can go create GPS marker. And then what that will do is it will show us, let me just make sure that that is show on HUD. I might change that to, let's say, I don't know, purple? Sounds good. Alright, so if we have a look on, yeah, I mean you can see in 34 kilometers in that direction, there is a station where we can trade goods and buy goods and all that sort of stuff. I might grab that unknown signal in a minute, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. Okay, so another thing I forgot to mention before was I actually have the progression enabled on this game. So as you can see, I can't build a cockpit just yet. So in order to build a cockpit, I first need to build a landing gear. So you see these components, the very first ones on the left. Well, obviously we have a landing gear available to us, and this one's damaged. But what we can do is we can grind that down. Grind down this seat as well. So we can grind this down, and then we can weld it back up, and now it will let us build the cockpit that I actually want to build. So that's nice. Alright, now as I said before, I want to grind down this hydrogen thruster, and as you can see it has 2 large steel tubes and 4 metal grids, and we're going to use those to build the atmospheric thrusters that we need. So let's go ahead and do that. And then if I go to weld it up, you'll notice I can't because it's an unknown technology so far. Okay, so now let's get our blocks out, and I think what I'm going to do is just fill this in. Cockpit. So let's go ahead and we'll place that there. I kind of want it to go one block more. Very similar to how I built my other ships. So I might just build some regular steel blocks out here. Place our cockpit down. I'd like to place it about there. Alright, so as you can see I need 1 motor, 5 displays and 15 computers, so let's go ahead and try and build them. I don't know if I'll have enough though. So 1 motor, 2, 3, 4, 5 displays. Not 100 computers. So if you control click, then you build 10 of an item. If you shift click, then you build 100 of an item. And then if you control shift click, then you build 1000 of an item. Let's build 1 more of them. So I need some more components, so we need to mine a little bit more stone so that I can get some more silicon for the displays. So let's do that. Alright, cool. Let's turn crouch off. And then if I Alt and then middle mouse button click, that will deposit all the components that are in my inventory, or that I possibly can, you know, as much room as available to us into this container. So I want to keep the computers here. Let's go back to production. Let's move that over there so that they get produced first. Back to inventory, move them over. Where have all my computers gone? Small cargo container, that's where they've gone. Let's go ahead and weld this up. I need my motor. Where is my motor? Thank you. Alright, now obviously we need some bulletproof glass to kind of build the, yeah, you know, finish it off, but I'm not really going to worry about that too much right now. Okay, so now I need to build the jets, or the atmospheric thrusters on top. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's find our thruster, and I'm probably going to use some sci-fi thrusters for this, because why not? Put one there, put one there. And now we're going to need 18 motors for each of these, so that's going to be quite a bit. So you can see we have our large steel tubes for that, ready to go. And then I might just place my gyroscope here. So place our gyroscope there. Okay. And then we've got to grind down one of these thrusters. And then from there, need to use the one large steel tube for that. Right, so we need some construction components. Where are we? Not that many though. So we need 40 construction components. We need quite a few motors. Only just need about 18 or 20. So we need 2 for that. And then how many do I need for that? Yeah, a little bit. So a couple computers, a couple of steel plates. Awesome, that's one of them built. So I'll just need more motors. Okay, so let's go and mine some more stone. Yeah, that should do for now. Okay, so yeah, that's plenty of stone. So once the motors and everything is all manufactured, then we'll go from there. Alright, so I've now gotten to the point where I've manufactured all the components that I need. So as you can see, I have a thruster in the forward and reverse direction. I have 3 thrusters going in the upwards direction, and yeah, I've got my gyroscope ready to go. So what I'm going to do is just jump into the ship, and I'm going to go into the control panel here. I'm going to show the hidden items. I'm going to select them to display. I'm going to display all of these as well in the terminal. Show you that in the terminal. Don't really know what that's for. Anyway, let's create a group for these landing gears. Say save that. We'll switch off auto lock. And then what I'm going to do as well is the thruster that goes backwards, I'm actually going to put that in my hotbar as well. So press G to configure the hotbar, and what we're going to do is we are going to put our landing gears here. I'm going to select switch lock. Let's find our atmospheric thruster. Which number was it? Number 2 is the backwards thruster. So then we'll toggle that block on and off. Okay. So what I want to do is just want to make sure that all these 3 thrusters here are actually turned on, which they aren't by default when you land in the drop pod. So let's go back into the control panel. Let's select our landing gears. Let's unlock this one right now, and now the ship is supported by the thrusters. But you can see it's kind of drifting to the side because I don't have any thrusters that go in the sideways direction. Alright, cool. So now what we're going to do is we're going to relocate to the base site, and yeah, let's go ahead and get moving. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off that thruster. As you can see, the thruster at the front is turned off now. So, but you can see it's kind of drifting a little bit. So, we have about 30 minutes of power. That should be heaps for what I want to do. That should be heaps to get us where we need to go. So I'm just basically gonna. Are we actually heading in that direction? No. So I'm just going to attempt to change my directory a little. Trajectory, I should say, a little bit here. And let's get a move on. And the problem is it's really difficult to see the line where I'm kind of, level. So, there it is. It's kind of blending in with the horizon, so that's a bit of a shame. But basically, I don't want to lose any altitude or gain any altitude. If I gain altitude, then I'm going to lose speed. Whereas if I try and keep it as steady as possible, then we should just kind of drift to where we need to be. Now I kind of suspect that when we get there, it's going to be night time on that side of the planet, so our landing is going to be a little bit rough. So in order to try and get around that, let's have a look at these lights. So I'm going to turn the blink interval of these lights to nothing. I'm going to set the radius of these to 10 meters. And the intensity, we'll just leave that for now. Turn blink length off entirely. I'm just trying to level out a little bit here. It's very difficult to see that horizon. If I'm going in the correct direction. As you can see, we're kind of coming up to a bit of a mountain range here, so if we're doing this in the dark, this would be kind of, a bad idea, because there's a chance that we could crash into the side of these mountains. The region that I'm heading to is kind of like a bit of a valley, so we'll be able to drive rovers in and out of the valley a little bit, but not too much. But mainly I'm planning to use a lot of atmospheric ships anyway, so that will kind of be where we're at. And I actually forgot to get the last unknown signal, so I have to make a point to get this one at least. So now that we're getting close, I think I might slow down a little bit here. Alright, let's slow down a bit. So I'll turn my thruster on at the top. And I think we got here at just the right time, because it seems to be only just sort of getting dark now. How are we going for horizontal speed? Yeah, horizontal speed isn't too bad. I'll just go forward a little bit more. I might actually be able to land this thing right where I need to, or right where I want to. I don't really need to, but would be nice. Because if it tends to drift too much to one side, then we're going to have a bit of a problem with trying to land this thing. So let's try and do a nice touchdown here. It's very stable. Ourselves close to the ground so we can lock ourselves down. We have our lights. Awesome. Alright, I think that's pretty good. Cool. Now we are locked down on the ground. So yeah, as you can see, this is the spot where I wanted to kind of create my base. So what I plan to do is create like kind of a massive tunnel through this side of the mountain, and then yeah, kind of create like sort of an underground bunker. I do like my underground bunkers, and eventually what I'm going to do on this map is build my massive rover, and then we're going to check some more of the planet out. But I think for now what I really need to do is try and scout out some ores. Oh yeah, we got some silver right at the entrance of this. Honestly, I don't know if I'll actually go for this. I don't know if I'll attempt to even mine this because just because it's like so close to the mouth of my base. I don't really know if I want to mess it up too much. So I'll just label that silver. I'm going to create a color for these. I might go for like some sort of an orange color. Yep, that sounds good. That looks good. Now, the reason why I've gone for orange is because, well, it's not really easy to see, but I was thinking about choosing yellow for those GPS markers. So the only problem with making them yellow is that I'll kind of get confused with these actual ore deposits whenever I'm standing over an ore deposit. So yeah, that's why I've chosen just to make them orange. The only problem is they do kind of blend in a little bit. Maybe I can make it a different color, like maybe bright green. Because yeah, it does mess with the unknown signal part, but I guess it's not too similar. Or maybe I can just make it like bright blue or something. Make sure that's set to max. How does that look? Yeah, that's a little bit better. It's not great, but it's a little bit better. Alright, so now what I need to do is I need to go around and I need to find myself some ore deposits. So one of the first things that I want to find is I want to find iron. I need to find some nickel, and I definitely need to find myself some cobalt. And over there we have ourselves a nice little oasis, and we should be able to get some ice from that. So let me just confirm that. Yep, we have some ice, and then up there we have some silicon. Okay, so let's create another one. From current position, silicon. Now, one thing I've noticed about this planet is all of the ore deposits seem to not be grouped. And what I mean by that is on like the Earth planet. Oh, we have another silver deposit. That's interesting. Let's create another GPS marker. Name this Silver 2. New from current position, sorry. Change the color. Change the color of this as well. Awesome. So yeah, one thing I've noticed is that the ore deposits all seem to be like kind of on their own. So nothing's like grouped. Oh, we have cobalt. Oh, that's one of the ores that I definitely want. New from current position. Yeah, because on the Earth planet, all the ores seem to be like, you know, sometimes you'll get magnesium and cobalt mixed together in the same deposit. You'll get like iron and nickel, and you'll get gold and silver. They'll be sometimes together. Yeah, so you'll get a lot of different ores like within the same deposit, but it seems to me on this planet that isn't necessarily the case. So, alright, what I'm going to do is I'm going to scout out this area a bit, and then I'm just going to come back and we'll see where we're at. It's going to be a little bit difficult though with all of this weather, so yeah. But that's one of the good things that I do like about having weather in the game, is it does make it somewhat challenging. It's not like, you know, it makes it a lot more difficult. Alright, well, as you can see guys, I've scouted out a few little deposits around the place. I haven't scouted too much because the weather was just, you know, really bad, and it was really difficult to see stuff. So I thought I'd make a quick start on the base. Now this is just going to be like a kind of a temporary base for now. So yeah, basically it's just like a little platform. We have our basic assembler, basic refinery, and up there we've got our one solar wind generator. And obviously we can, you know, kind of offshoot some more to the side here. So yeah, I think I will just go off now that the weather has disappeared. I will just go and try and find some more deposits here. I think the only thing I really need to find now is a bit of nickel, but apart from that I think I've kind of found everything that I need to. The light is kind of fading on us now though, so it's going to be quite difficult to find things. Looks like I've found a bit of silicon, but I have already found silicon, so it's not really that useful to me, but still I will take it. And in fact, is there a I don't think there is an unknown signal, because sometimes you can get some pretty valuable resources from something like that, you know. Because what you can do is you can grind down those little unknown signal sort of packages and yeah, get a few valuable components. But I don't think there is one here at the moment, or unless it's spawned on the other side of the planet, and one hasn't spawned here yet, so that could be a possibility. Well, it looks like there is an unknown signal coming our way, so I think I'm going to go check that out. But if I have a look on the bottom left, you can see that my fuel is low. Now the reason why I say it's low is if you notice above my oxygen there is a little symbol of a bottle, but above my H2 there isn't. So if I go into my inventory, you'll see my hydrogen bottle is empty. So before we go and grab that unknown signal, let's fly back to base and let's go and fill up my H2 tank. And hopefully I don't run out of fuel on the way. For it to take the fuel out of the bottle, fill it up again, move the ice back into the container. And in fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move all of the components that I don't need into this container here. Why can't I store them there? That's odd. Maybe because they're not. Alright, let's go check out this unknown signal. And maybe along the way we'll find ourselves an ore deposit as well. Who knows? Ooh, that was a little bit... That hurt a little bit. Ooh. There's another silver deposit there. Ah. Oh, very good. So there's some gold and silver in the same deposit. Well, that will come in handy for later. So our name is gold and silver. Make that the same color. Okay, now where were we? Alright, let's go check this out. Ooh, another iron deposit. Hang on. Where's the unknown signal gone? What? That's weird. It just disappeared. Alright. Well, that sucks. Is it on? No, it's no longer on my HUD. Let's name that iron 2. Change the colour of that. Okay. Now, where did that unknown signal go? It must have got damaged somehow, I reckon. That is unfortunate, because I really could have used the components from that drop pod to get my base started. I guess the only real thing I can do now is, well, the only ore I really need to find now is a bit of nickel, and then I'm kind of done with finding the ores that I need. More silicon again. Oh, yeah, that was the old deposit that I was looking at before. That's weird. I don't know where that unknown signal went. That's, yeah. It's the only problem at night. You can't really find anything. Alright, well, I'm just going to head on back to base. And I'm just going to carry on with what I've got. And, I'm just going to need to do a whole lot of stone mining anyway to kind of get my base going. So, with that being said, how much do I need for this? So I need 8 motors, 10 interior plates, 20 construction components. So I've got the motors and interior plates, I think. Oh. No, I don't. Oh, yeah, so I still need to build 8 of them. Got the interior plates. I do have the girders, so let's just go and weld up what we can. So now I need my 7 motors. So let's go to my stone mine up here. Mine ourselves some stone. to get myself a decent mine up and going, or a refinery and a basic assembler.
Inventory full.
I might actually go and grab that unknown signal if I can this time. So, just move a bit of ice over to my inventory, move that back, move the ice back, move the stone back. Okay, let's go forth with our grinder. Ooh. So let's select the drill, just in case we come across any ore deposits on the way. Where is it? Looks like it's right down this crevasse. Okay, so let's see if we can't. Yeah. A med kit and some credits. Don't really need that stuff if I'm being honest. Already got one, but yeah, nothing I suppose, right? Well, we should probably head back before I run out of power. Get the drill back out. Ooh, that hurt. Oh, crocky. Well, I did find another iron deposit though. Let's quickly mark this. Iron 3. Oh, I'm going to need to jump into the cockpit here and heal myself up a bit. Well, it looks like I got 1 day worth of power on this thing, so that's pretty good. Certainly enough to keep us going for a while. Let's jump out of there. Let's go around to the survival kit, which is here. Hold that to recharge ourselves. Let's just see what we actually got. Not too much. Right, so we've got the motors. So let's weld this thing up now. We are short some interior plates, but I don't really need them to get all that stuff working. Alright, so I need 60 steel plates and 100 steel plates. So I need 160 steel plates. Wow, that's pretty steep. How many have I got? I got 40 steel plates. So I'm gonna need 120. 22 or thereabouts. Let's see how many of those I can actually make. Probably not that many. So let's do some more stone mining until we have got enough steel plates to weld those two things up. Alright, well, I've made all the components that I need to get all this stuff welded up, so let's go ahead and do that. So well, actually, with the exception of these displays, I must have missed that. Well, let's quickly make 3 of those. 1, 2, 3. Let's try this again. Let's weld these up. Awesome. Alright, cool. So now I have the ability to mine some iron and actually make use of that, mine nickel, mine silicon, and mine all those things so that I can then build some more advanced components. So if I go into here, I go into production, you can see now I can make some metal grids, I can make some power cells, so I can build batteries, I can build large steel tubes, and yeah, all that sort of stuff. So I can build bulletproof glass, so I can finish off that cockpit. Yeah, just a whole bunch of other components that I couldn't build before. I do have an exact list of what I can and can't build with a survival kit, but yeah, I'll leave that for a later time. So one of the other things I would like to do is build a battery as well, because if we have a look in the control panel of these items, you can see that the max required input is 330 kilowatts of just the basic refinery, and the input for the basic assembler is 280 kilowatts as well. But how much is our wind turbine putting out? 400 kilowatts. So it's not really enough to run both of these, but I think instead what I might do this time around is actually just build another wind generator. So how many blocks apart is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I might build another one on that side, because if you place them too close together, then they can kind of interfere with each other. So let's go ahead and build some more steel plates. So I'll probably just use up all the resources that I have here and then kind of go from there. Let's build another one here. So I need 10 interior plates. Eight motors. I need 20 construction components. 24 girders. And 2 computers. 2 computers. 2. I wonder if I'm going to have enough components for that. I'd say probably not. So just to be sure that I do, let's go grab a little bit more from the stone mine. And as you can see, it's getting rather big at this point.
Inventory full.
So hopefully pretty soon we won't even need to worry about using that. Right, now you can see that all the components are made. Let's go ahead and weld up this extra wind turbine. Now, I wonder if this other one's going to slow down. Doesn't look like it has. It did a little bit. I think it lost about 40 kilowatts, but I think that's not too bad, so we should be able to work with that. The only thing is I haven't really found nickel yet, so look if I have. No, see, I haven't found nickel yet, so I'm kind of stuck a little bit here. Well, not entirely, but well, I think what I might do is just mine some iron to start with, and then from there we can kind of build ourselves a let's just right click into this mountain a little bit here. Really need to find myself some nickel. It's like one of the things we definitely need. Let's get rid of all the stone that I don't want. Let's pick up only the iron ore. Seems that we are full. Yep. Alright, cool. I think I want to grab myself some cobalt. So I kind of want to go at a bit of an angle here. So let's get ourselves some cobalt. Let's try and avoid all of the other. Oh, maybe not. I think that should do just for now.
Inventory full.
Yeah, that hole's not too big. It's like manageable. So if I happen to run over it in a large grid rotor, I'm not going to fall down some massive deep pit. Cool, so only 809 cobalt. Well, that's not very good, but I suppose that should do for now. Look at that, 2.4k. 2.04k. It would take me so long getting that, just mining stone. And in fact, we can use this to refine all of the stone that I previously mined up here, because the efficiency of this refinery is a bit better than the other one. So from here I should be able to gain access to the nickel and the silicon that I need. Even though I can actually mine silicon at the moment, but you know, for the moment I can't really find nickel, so, and I'm probably not going to find it until daylight comes along. So yeah, where are we? So one thing I do want to kind of get my hands on is I want to build a small cargo container there as well. So let's put more stone in there. Don't have too much nickel really. So what do I need to build a small cargo container? once I build this, then if we just briefly have a look in the progression window here, and we have a look at our small cargo container, that will allow us to build ejectors, conveyor junctions, connectors, and all that sort of lovely stuff. So let's build this. Yep. You have unlocked new blocks. Awesome. And actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to select my favorite paint scheme, which is the digital camouflage in black. And it's Control Shift middle mouse button, and that will change everything on the grid to that color. Magic. I'm going to do the same to this. Control Shift middle mouse button click. Ah yes. That is lovely. Very nice. And now what I can do is I can take all my components from here and I can place them all over here. Let's see what it did transfer. So I'll probably transfer this stuff as well. I don't really need to carry that around. That I especially don't need to carry around anymore because I've already saved the GPS coordinates to that. And then what I can do as well is I can manufacture myself some tools. But obviously I need to get my hands on a cobalt ingot, which I think I've already got, so I think I'm going to have enough to build all of this stuff. My welder, grinder and drill. Move the old ones into here. Let's go into our hotbar, let's delete these, go to character tools, select that, and select that. Awesome. Now I have access to a enhanced welder, an enhanced grinder, and an enhanced hand drill. Lovely. Okay, so now I think what we can do is we can start making some moves on building this here ship into a proper mining ship. So I think what I might do is start by getting rid of this cockpit just so that I can remember where I'm at. Well, actually no. What I need to really do first is actually build a survival kit, so maybe that will be a good starting point. First, let's build some steel plates. How much iron have I got? Bit, not heaps. I want to kind of extend this platform out a bit. I would love to build. Now that I've unlocked a conveyor, I can finally put that there. I'd like to build one of them. With the bigger assembler, what you can do is you can kind of queue up all the components that you need to build a certain part. But I don't think you can actually do that with this one. Yeah, all you can do is select the components themselves. So I need 10 interior plates. I need 20 construction components, 20 small steel tubes. I need 6 motors. I need another 10 construction components, 10 interior plates. And then if you want to withdraw all the components to build a certain item, what you need to do is have it selected. And then you basically just walk up to that, to your cargo port, and you just middle mouse button click. And you see now it says, cannot withdraw 2 construction components. And now we've withdrawn all the components we need to successfully build this. now I can build that. And then what I want to build next is a survival kit. I think it's that way. So if I want to add this object to my build planner, I'll just walk up to it and right click. And then if I go G, you can see that it shows all the components that I need to build that item. So then again, I can middle mouse button click to withdraw everything I need. And the only thing I'm missing now is the medical components. So let's just have a look at this one here. And that has 3 medical components. So I think I'm just going to grind this thing down. We'll make sure it's empty, and yes it is. I'm going to grind that down. Okay. And then I'm going to weld this up. And this is going to be our new spawn point. Alright, so, and then this landing gear here then is, I'm pretty sure that's like just not connected to anything now. So I'm just going to grind that out. Alright, cool. Okay, so the next thing I really wanted to move across was the O2 H2 generator, but I might just leave that for now. But just before I finish up this first episode, there is one thing that I do want to build. What I want to build is kind of like a decoy or an antenna, because basically I have the weather enabled in this save, and the decoys and the antennas are good for basically attracting lightning and stopping it from destroying all of our lovely stuff. So I guess with that in mind, let's see how many steel plates we've got, and I'll try and extend this platform as far as I can. I already have some available. So let's just put some blocks down. And then I will place some blocks, just some 45-degree angle sloped blocks like this. Place another one like that. Like that. Go like that. I'll do another one again, because I don't really want it to be too close to the other two. So let's go ahead and keep placing some more blocks here like that. Maybe even just go a little bit higher. And then I will grab a 2x1. I'll grab another 2x1, but a tip this time. Place it like that. And then let's go to our G menu and see if we can find an antenna. No, we can't. So let's go into the progression menu and see what I need to unlock to get an antenna. Alright, so you can see I need to basically build a beacon so that I can then build an antenna. But remember how before I said that you can kind of grind components down and re-weld them back up again? Well, it just so happens that we have a beacon right here before us. So let's crouch down a bit so we can get in here. So let's grind that down, weld that back up, and now I should have unlocked the components or the blocks that I need to create this antenna that I want. Alright, so let's go ahead and add the antenna to my menu. Let's just build one of them. So we actually need quite a few plates for that. So that should be enough. need 40 large steel tubes. I need 60 construction. Wait. 60 small steel tubes and 30 construction components. 8 computers. And then 40 radio components. And then 20 steel plates. Again. And how much iron do I have left? 401 ingots. Let's just see if I've actually got enough for all that. Yeah, I might need to just quickly go and get some more, so I'm just going to go ahead and do that. Alright, so I've gone ahead and I've collected a bit more iron and a bit more stone just to, keep this whole thing going. So I'm just going to dump that into this small cargo container here, and then they should just automatically make their way to the
Energy low.
to the basic refinery. And then that should be enough to make all the components. So probably just come back to when all these components are made, and then we can get started on building this antenna. Alright, well it seems like everything has been manufactured so that we can build our antenna and then kind of protect our base from the elements. Alright, so let's go ahead and start building that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually select the antenna, as I said before. I'm going to go up to my cargo container, middle mouse button click, and it's going to withdraw all the stuff that I can, and then it's also going to add it here into the build plan. So let's go up here and let's actually build our antenna. So we'll place it, which way do I want it? I think we'll go this way. Let's just place it there, where I want it to go. No, that's not the way I want it to go. Let's move it again. Let's build it so that that bit is facing that way. There we go, that looks a little bit better. Alright, so put all the components in, middle mouse button, click again, go back up here, weld some more, go back down, middle mouse button, click, and you can see now that we have withdrawn all the components that we need. Just we'll go ahead and weld this up. Awesome. Alright, cool. Well, I think that's a pretty good kind of starting platform for us. It's not, the most glamorous thing on the planet, but yeah, I think this is definitely a good start. So hopefully, well, I'm probably going to end the episode here, guys. But in the next episode, hopefully the daylight will emerge, and then we'll be able to see what we're doing, find ourselves some nickel, and then we can really get this base cranking. And then maybe what we can do is start making a start on the actual, proper base that goes through this mountain. I can show you guys some tunneling techniques and that sort of stuff, because as I said before, this is basically just going to be kind of a starter platform to get us started. And then from there I'm going to build like my main base actually in this mountain here. So yeah, that's my ultimate goal, really. Alright guys, well thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope to see you in episode 2. Thanks.